Hi, this is Josh with Resort TV 1, and today we're taking you on a full tour of Disney's All-Star Sports Resort. We hope you enjoy the video, and please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already done so that you can be notified every time we go live or have a new video. Also, be sure to follow us on social media. We're Resort TV 1 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, let's get started. And we're here at the All-Star Sports Resort on a beautiful day, and you can see right here in the front at the bus loading area, you've got these gigantic letters announcing that this is the All-Star Sports. The other All-Stars look similar in the front. You've got music and movies right next door here. So this is the only All-Star resort that we haven't covered yet, so we wanted to definitely make sure and give this some good coverage. Now you can see here at the bus loading area, the Magical Express is sitting there right by the car unloading area. So if you catch a Magical Express, this is where you'll be picked up. And you can see the gigantic star there right across from the car unloading zone. Really cool, showing you definitely you're at the All-Star Resort where everything is larger than life. So let's walk in the lobby here and look around. And there you see Disney's All-Star Resort. Nothing specific for the sports, but that's the logo for all of the All-Stars. And the lobbies for all these resorts are very, very similar, of course, mostly sports decorations and memorabilia throughout this particular resort, but overall the layout and floor plan for each resort are the same. And here is a concierge desk that's currently not in use. And over here we've got a little TV area and a sitting area for kids to watch TV while their parents check in at the resort. And here's a shot of the check-in area. And there's a better shot of the TV viewing area. You can see you've got some of the new Mickey Mouse cartoons on. There are restrooms and phones back here. And there's the main store for the resort. Sports Goof. Or Sport Goofy, I guess it is. We'll take a look in that here in just a bit. And they've got this All-Star Sports Hall of Fame here, and you can see different athletes along this big long hallway with this beautiful atrium glass ceiling here. We'll look at the pictures of the athletes here in just a minute. It's interesting that this Hall of Fame here doesn't really have any pictures or anything in it. I'm not sure if it ever did or not, so leave a comment if you know. So let's head over into Sport Goofy, again the main shop here in the All-Star Sports Resort. And we're doing this tour right before Easter. Actually, it's the day before Easter, so they've got all the Easter merchandise out, Peeps and bunnies and Mickey with bunny ears and all kinds of fun stuff. And I love these banners here from Goofy, some of the older Goofy cartoons where they have how to play certain sports and Goofy kind of fumbles his way through. It's a lot of fun. Got some ESPN merchandise there too. And of course a lot of sports decoration as you'd expect. Love the chain link fence up there along the top of the wall. There's a baseball area, at least in the decoration, not necessarily the merchandise. Goofy's how to play baseball. Here's a Stitch merchandise section. They don't have a lot of All-Star specific merchandise here, a few things here and there, but mostly it's a lot of merchandise that you can find at all the various resorts. And some of the things you can find at the parks as well. That's one complaint I do have about merchandise at Walt Disney World, is that I think they should have more specific things for each location. I know that's probably expensive to do, but it's always nice to have merchandise that you can only get in one location, like specific All-Star merchandise and things like that. I think more of the deluxe resorts have more specific merchandise rather than the value resorts like this one. And by the way, when we're on that topic, this is a value resort. It's one of that category where the prices are a little bit more reasonable and they have more rooms than what they have at the deluxe resorts. They've got several different types of merchandise, a candy section over here. You can satisfy your sweet tooth, and they've even got a little cooler with different beverages, and you can have those things in your room. I believe most of the rooms have mini fridges and things like that. And we're back out of the shop, and again looking back towards the check-in desk here. Alright, let's head down the hallway, down towards the food court. We'll stop to take a look at some of these pictures here. You can see some very famous athletes from years past. There's Babe Ruth there. Sorry about the reflection, but you can still see who they are. There's a little photo spot. You can have your kids stand in there and act like a baseball player. And here's another one of these Hall of Fame displays with really no pictures or anything in it, which is kind of interesting. Not sure if they're just cleared out for some reason. I don't know. There's the in-zone food court. But before we go in there, there's the pool out the back. We'll look at that later. Right across from the food court is the Game Point Arcade. And this is a really nice arcade, so let's take a look around. Really large with a lot of different games and just a lot of places to have fun for the whole family. And I think the value resorts do have larger arcades a lot of times because more families can afford to stay here and things like that. I know we usually stayed at value resorts when we were coming down as a family when Jen and I were younger. So we loved playing in the arcades. It was a nice break from the parks, especially if you got here late in the afternoon and weren't attending the parks that day. So I'm glad that they haven't completely gotten rid of the arcades, and it looks like they've got some pretty updated games here that are a lot of fun. Love the world's largest Pac-Man there. Right next to old school Miss Pac-Man. Some of these games, I believe, are rescued from Disney Quest as well. They've even got skee-ball back here, one of my favorites. And, of course, basketball. So lots of fun here in the arcade. Oh, we'll head back out towards the food court. So let's go in and take a look around. So the layout of this food court is exactly the same or very similar to the other two All-Star resorts, and they're really all pretty much carbon copies of each other, but of course the decor is slightly different, and some of the food offerings are different as well. So check out our other videos to see some of the differences, because we do have videos again for All-Star movies as well as All-Star music. But let's look at some of the food offerings here. We've got some snacks and smoothies over here. I love the theming here. It's like a baseball scoreboard here on these menus. And we've got soccer over here. Got some bakery treats. Those cookies and cupcakes look really good. A Stitch cupcake. There's a closer look at some of the actual merchandise. There's those Stitch cupcakes. They look really good. And of course we got sports-themed Rice Krispie treats as well. And other cupcakes and pastries. And here we've got some different sandwiches and other types of meal options here. And this is called the market, by the way. In here where you can get different beverages as well as fruit and things like that there. So you can check that out if you want to look for something in the cooler. And there we've got hot dogs, chicken strips, actually chili dog looks like there. And we've got hamburgers and all kinds of different things. So, and some of it's themed like what you might find at a ballpark, which is kind of cool. And over here we got some pizza and various other Italian type dishes. And here's a look at the checkout area. So you get whatever you want at the different market stalls there, and then you head over to the checkout, and then you head out and get your condiments and find a place to sit back here. Pretty similar to all the other Disney food courts or all the other resorts. They also have this grandstand spirits area where you can get some different alcoholic beverages as well as a few other things. And this actually goes outside. The other side of it is outside facing the pool, so that's kind of neat. It's on both sides there. And they've got some sports decor from the various new Mickey cartoons. That's where you pick up your pizza if you've ordered one of those. And this whole area is actually themed towards the new Mickey cartoons, but specifically the sports episodes that they've done. And a lot of room back here. This is actually being taken right around lunchtime, and still plenty of tables open. Of course, probably most guests at the park at this point, but still good that they've got plenty of tables for everybody to relax and enjoy. And now let's head outside into the pool area. You can see there's a giant star overlooking the main pool entrance here. So this main area here in this All-Star Sports Resort is divided into different areas based on different sports. And this is the Surf's Up area of the resort, and we'll check out all the other areas as well. But it's very fitting that the pool would be in the Surf's Up area. Very nice main pool. There you can see a map of the resort. You got the Surfs Up, Hoops Hotel, Center Court, Touchdown, Home Run Hotel, and another touchdown area as well. So they've also got a running trail mapped out there on the bottom. So you can take a look at this map to find out where you need to go. Then we've got this bar that I was talking to you about. This is the other side of it, where you can grab your beverage and head right out to the pool. So that's called the Pour Board, based on the Surf's Up theme of the area. There you can see the football area over there. And the Surf's Up area has these lifeguard stands in the staircases, so that's kind of cool. We'll take a closer look at that here in just a bit. But let's head down the sidewalk and check out all these surfboards along the railings of the balconies in front of the rooms here. And all the All-Star Resort buildings are similar in floor plan and in decor, but they've got the theming based on the actual resort itself. So this is the surfs area, and then, like I said, different sports and things like that. But the buildings are almost carbon copies of each other with different theming. And we've got a beautiful day with all these palm trees in the background here. And here's what looks like a shark fin, I think, here in the middle of the building. Each building in the All-Star, as well as Pop Century and Art of Animation, have these central focal points here, areas of decoration. So we'll see throughout the All-Star Sports here the different centerpieces of each building. And you can see the basketball area of the resort there in the background. One of my favorite things about the All-Star, though, is the colors are so bright and they really pop out on a beautiful Florida day like this. And there you can see the bathhouse where you can get changed, and there's some restrooms there in the distance. And I really love the way these sidewalks are built like a boardwalk. That's kind of cool. I just now noticed that as we were walking by here. And now we're in this central courtyard in this part of the resort, which is really cool, right between the basketball and the tennis areas. You can see basketball right over there, which we'll check out in just a minute. But they've got this really cool statue of Mickey we'll check out here in just a bit that really signifies the All-Star Resort itself. There he is, kind of welcoming you to the All-Star Resort. Doesn't even say sports, it just says All-Star Resorts back there. And we can also get a really good view of the basketball area from here. I love those gigantic whistles and the gigantic goals as well. Such a beautiful, beautifully themed area of the resort. There you can see all the basketballs going through the hoops. Palm trees swaying in the breeze next to those very tall basketball goals. We'll take a closer look at that here in just a minute. You can also see pennants for various fictitious teams along the top of the building there. And again, those goals are way taller than the 10-foot regulation size. I would estimate maybe 20 to 25 feet tall. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. And here I am on the court. Well, almost on the court. There's an identical one on the other side, although it'd be hard to play with that bush in the way. And again, a gigantic whistle there. So there you see the basketball hoop there, and like I said, I'd say maybe 20 to 25 feet tall. They've got different markings, kind of like a basketball court there, but they've also got this whistle with the little bead in the middle, which makes the actual whistle sound. That's a pretty cool shot there through the whistle and up towards the beautiful blue sky. And if you've never taken apart or seen the inside of a whistle, they've got those beads in there that make the signature whistle sound. And there's an identical goal on the other side. This is kind of the back edge of this side of the resort too. There's no building beyond that. And you can see behind the whistle it's called the Hoops Hotel. At least this part is. And the staircases at the end of each building are themed in all these All-Star and even Pop Century and Art of Animation resorts. And these are themed like megaphones that say win on them. Or that one I guess says raw. So different sports cheers. Very creative. And like I mentioned before, you can see at the ends of the surf's up part of the resort, those are lifeguard stands. Just very creative theming throughout this whole area. And now let's check out the tennis part of the resort. There you can see the stairway for the tennis part of the resort is actually a ball canister, which is pretty cool. And they've got different tennis terminology like Love 15 there on the tops of the buildings, which is pretty creative. And the courtyard between the two buildings is actually a gigantic tennis court, which is a lot of fun. And giant tennis rackets and balls along the buildings as well as the, what is that, the referee's chair, I guess? Yeah, on either side of there would be a referee's chair. There you can see Donald's nephews playing tennis there, which actually they've got a baseball bat, which is kind of funny. I think they're in the wrong part of the resort. They should go over to the baseball section, but it's really cool that they're standing here having a great time. And by the way, I did a little research there as you see that tennis referee or umpire's chair, and it looks like the two terms, either referee or umpire, can be used interchangeably in tennis, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I did actually do some research and I saw online that the referees were called either a referee or an umpire. So I don't follow tennis that much, so if you do, let me know which is the correct terminology or if both are acceptable. Alright, well now let's check out the football area of the resort. And football is one of my favorite sports, so I was excited to check out this area. We've only stayed in the tennis section, but the football area is amazing. And of course the stairways on the side there are actually footballs themselves, which is cool. And the center courtyard area is actually a football field, as you'd expect. Got the uprights there, as well as gigantic helmets in the middle of each building as the centerpiece. Got the yard markers there for each yard line, and it's 100 yards at least marked from one side to the other. I don't know exactly. Looks like that's a little bit further than 10 yards apart there. It's probably a little longer than an actual football field, but as you walk along the AstroTurf here, you can see X's and O's like a playbook painted into the ground there, which is really, really cool. I'm not sure what play that is, but anybody who knows more about football than I am, if you can see that and post it in the comments, let me know, but that's really cool. You can see a giant cup of Coke there across the way in the baseball area. We'll check that out in a minute, but here are these gigantic helmets as the centerpiece of each football building, and also pennants along the top of each building as well. Here's Mickey at midfield. It's pretty cool. And the sidewalks on the side of the field there look like the out of bounds lines where the teams would stand during the game. So we'll go past the upright here and into the baseball area. There you can see a scoreboard for Home Run Hotel. And you can see on the tops of these buildings are actually stadium lights, which is really neat. And this is the only other area of the resort besides the Surf's Up area that has a pool. Look at that, there's bleachers over there on the top of that building. I think that's like a mechanical or laundry building that's only used by cast members, but they've got it themed really well. And there you can see that pool, and it's shaped like a baseball diamond. Take a closer look at that here in just a bit. But the theming here is just so amazing. There you can see Goofy, he's using a pitching machine, which is actually squirting water at the guests. A lot of fun there. And we've got, of course, Louisville Sluggers. What else would you have there on the side of the baseball building with oversized balls there? And this is the batter's cage here. So behind that would be home plate right in the pool area. And also along the top of each building here you have pennants from actual baseball teams. I just saw the Cubs back there. That's my favorite team, being from Illinois originally. And this is, I guess, the outfield area of the pool/baseball diamond, which is pretty cool. There's a closer look at that bleacher area on top of that building. Well, that's all for now for our full tour for 2019 of Disney's All-Star Sports Resort. We hope you enjoyed the video. Again, please remember to leave us a like and a comment, as well as subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already done so. Also, be sure to check out our sponsors, MickeyBlog.com and MickeyTravels.com, for the best and free Disney vacation planning advice. Also, check out windowrepairparts.us and use the coupon code ResortTV1 for 20% off your purchase at windowrepairparts.us. So for now, have a great big beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye.